episode 224. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We have Batman and Superman World's Finest number 37, and we have Dick Tracy number 8. Let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about these comics. But before we do, remember to give me that like, give me that subscribe if you can, and share this video out there. Make sure everybody knows what's going on in the comic industry and what's getting published and what's good and what's bad. Also, if you'd like to read anything that I've written, you can go to Amazon.com and just type my name, Frank Zanca, into that, and you'll come up with all my stuff, including my sci-fi quadrilogy, Destiny Aurora, that was also made into a board game, an RPG. It's also on Audible, the first novel, with a male and female voice, so it's lots of fun there. And yeah, it was also made into a graphic novel, which is also up there as well. And then we have my fantasy book, Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. I'm working on a new novel right now. And on top of that, I'm working on a new comic called Fairy Tales of Terror. Lots of fun. All right, so let's jump into World's Finest with Batman and Superman. And the reason, so I dropped this a while ago because it just got a little bit too, it just wasn't the same quality. The quality was dropping. But I mean, after 30 issues, you know, it was really good for a time period. And as everybody knows, I'm a big Aquaman fan, so we have Aquaman on the cover. So I was like, all right, I'll go pick it up. I have Aquaman not only in the cover, but he's also on a seahorse, which is like my kryptonite right there. So, because I grew up with the Super Friends with him on the seahorse. So, obviously this is coming into the middle of the story, so I really didn't know what was going on. But also WonderCon is coming up. If I was in LA, I would be going to that, but because I used to go to that every year. But anyway, we start out with Superman kissing a mermaid, and her husband is down the bottom there. I guess they're having some marital problems. But all I knew was that Swamp Thing was in this. So the husband hits Superman, and he's just like, ow. I think that was the guy's hand crunching right there. But then we have Swamp Thing, and they're underwater, and he's being controlled by Jason Woodrue, which is the Floronic Man. So Batman and Robin are in rebreathers and that kind of thing going on. I don't know how deep they are, but I just want you to know that the Aquaman on the cover is nowhere in this book. But anyway, Floronic Man is controlling Swamp Thing. And, of course, he's not really corporeal. So Batman trying to punch him is not going to work. But anyway, they end up grabbing Batman, and Robin's got some issues there because the thing goes into his mask, so now he's going to start drowning. But Swamp Thing takes back over his body. But yeah, because Floronic Man is just a pain in the ass. But there's Aquaman there. What is that? What is that? Ugh. But anyway, but then we have the marital problems going on again while this whole battle is taking place. And Superman, saves Robin. It looks like he, brings him up pretty fast, so that could kill him. But Aquaman looks like he's kind of smiling there. He's with that other guy with the long thing. I don't know, long collar. I have no idea what's going on there. But yeah. And now we have Floronic Man's taken back over Swamp Thing again. Superman's getting tied up. He's like, no, you cannot tie me up. And then he tries to stomp them. I don't know what's going on here. I have no idea. And he's like, no, you will do no stomping with my body. Okay. Anyway, this battle continues. He heats visions underwater. Now, Superman can't breathe underwater. He can hold his breath for a really long time, which is how he goes into space and stuff like that. So, shouldn't he have his mouth closed? He can't talk underwater. All that's weird. But anyway, then you have that Aquaman on this armor, and you have Mera in armor. I have no idea what's going on here, and now I know why I dropped it. But the battle continues until finally Woodrue loses, of course. And Aquaman just looks totally horrible there. I mean, completely horrible. And they're crying underwater. And he's like, oh, it's not Superman's fault. I kissed him, but he didn't kiss me back, or whatever. Whatever. And they decide that they're going to forgive each other. Whatever. Anyway, you can tell that I'm not hot on this book. Yeah. And that's the end of that. He hits a home run or something. I don't know what the hell. But yeah, it was not good. It was not good, and it was not a representation of Aquaman. And I will continue to have dropped that. Sayonara, World's Finest. Although a Batman and Superman movie, you know, obviously they tried it with Batman versus Superman. But a true World's Finest, like some of my favorite stuff with World's Finest, like in the cartoons, was when Lex teamed up with the Joker, forcing Batman and Superman to team up. That, to me, that was some of the best stuff. And that would really, really work in a movie. That would get people into the theater, I think, as opposed to them fighting each other. It was, you know, the only reason they fought each other was in the Frank Miller book. You know, so that's all Scott Snyder. That boy's crazy. But anyway, let's get into Dick Tracy number 8. I think this is the 3rd issue into this new storyline of the Blank. So the last storyline, the last run, was okay. You know, it was good to see. I thought Segura did a good job of recapturing the character and making it a little bit more gritty. But this one here is really good. I mean, really good. And this is about the Blank, who's this guy in white here. And they found out, so he's just killing people right and left, and they don't know who he's killing. I mean, they know who he's killing, but they don't know who he is. They have no idea what the identity is. And they don't know what his motivation is. But they find out in the last issue, they don't find out, but they hypothesize based on the clues that he is a cop. So Dick Tracy's partner here, which was the setup in the last run, was Pat Patton, whose brother was killed and wanted revenge. So he teamed up with Tracy, even though he was just a regular guy. He was he wasn't a cop. So anyway, he ended up being a cop. I guess not going through any training, anything else. He just became a cop, and they're now partners. And then you have Tess Trueheart, who's a reporter. Then on top of that, now you have this lounge singer that we're going to start with here. Breathless Mahoney. But anyway, we start out with this club owner outside, and this is somebody that they just questioned in the last issue. All right, and I forgot the name of his club. The Ritz. Putting on the Ritz. And Pat Patton decides that he is going to question him alone because he thought he was lying. And they get into a fist fight. I don't know what Pat Patton's even thinking here. But anyway, he gets a drop on him. Then his other guys come out, and Pat has no choice but to run. But then the blank comes out of nowhere and stabs him in the back a few times, and then stabs him in the front a few times. But the guy, we don't find out till later, but he don't die. So, and of course, who does he think it is? So now we're with Breathless Mahoney, and Dick Tracy shows up. She comes on to him, of course, and he wants information out of her. And he's like, whose house are we going to? So she decides to help him so that he'll owe her a favor. So meanwhile, you have Tess that is following up on a lead as well, and she does get the guy to talk. And he's like, if I just tell you, will you just leave me alone? But it's she's in the police offices downstairs about the records, and she says, who else has been looking up this stuff on the blank or whatever? And she says that he tells her that it's Pat Patton. So all roads are leading to Pat Patton at this point. And Dick Tracy gets a note from the blank to come to the thing, because he goes to see Tess, I guess, and that's a note. Or not Tess, but Breathless. He goes to pick up Breathless, and he gets this note to come to this chemical joint. And this is a really, really good scene. This is very, very cinematic, in my opinion. But anyway, it's almost got this, Batman, Acme Chemicals type situation going on. And he's got her dangling there. But he also has a bomb attached to the rope that's holding her there. And originally we think it's just on a remote. But we find out that it's not in a second here. So he's like, you can come after me. He's testing him. You can come after me or you can save her. Which one you want? So he's testing her here to see where his priorities lie. So then we have the guy from the Ritz come in, and like I said, he ain't dead. So, of course, they call the ambulance. Oh, his name is Fangs, that's right. And, of course, he's giving up the fact that he thinks that it was Patton. I don't know what Pat was thinking. But anyway, he lets the guy go, and the bomb is on a timer. So he says, do you trust me? Because he can't undo it fast enough for the timer goes off. He's got like 16 seconds. So he's like, do you trust me? And she's like, I guess. Do I have a choice in the matter? And he literally tosses her so it swings back. So while because there it is, he's got 5 seconds there. So while it's on its way back to him, he shoots it. He shoots the rope. So now she's in a pendulum swing toward him, and he catches her at the last second, and the bomb falls into the chemicals and explodes. What an amazing scene. That is a very, very well written scene. I like it a lot. I couldn't have written anything better myself. That is really, really good. But anyway, so we have Tess going to confront Pat. I have no idea what's going on with Pat right now. But anyway, he's got a black eye from his fight with Fangs. And he's threatening her to leave. But meanwhile, on their way back, he gets a call to go to the Ritz because Fangs wants him to know that it was Pat Patton. Of course it's not, but because he could really be in two places at once now, could he? And that's what he tells him, and that's Dick Tracy's face to that. Wow. And that's the next issue. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm not understanding the motivation. The motivation for Pat is put into play just to have him as the red herring. I understand that, but it's a little bit forced. But other than that, this thing is really, really good. So let's do a wrap up here. This would make a really good movie right now. Not the run before, but this storyline with the blank, thumbs up. So far, so good. I especially this issue. This is my favorite issue so far. This is great. World's Finest. Nah, this was shit. Unfortunately, it was shit, and I am redropping it. All right, well, that is it for me. Remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you want to subscribe, you definitely can. It is free. Ring that bell, ding, ding. It will notify you about when I do movie reviews, comic book reviews, unboxings. We do some board game stuff, card game stuff, that kind of thing as well, because I am also a designer. If you want to read anything I've written, remember to go to Amazon.com and type my name in. You'll see all my stuff. So, or if you want something, signed specifically, just write something in the comments section. All right, thanks for watching, guys. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, bye-bye.